right, y'all. So this is Black Love. This is Black Love. Believing, achieving.
Yeah. Take your time, bro.
Yeah.
Take your time.
You got it?
All right.
You got it. Take a deep breath and go.
You can do it.
I'm just asking you. Hey, I'm professional.
Take your time.
Okay.
Take your time.
That's what happens when you got multiple shows.
Right.
You don't remember what show you on. I understand.
Right.
I do it all the time. You're like, well,
But that's what makes it so homegrown. That's what makes it so
Yeah.
So try it again. Take your time.
That's how we wanted to feel too. All right, y'all. So this is Black Love. BLAK. Believe, live, acknowledge, know. LVOE. Live victorious over everything. So what we do is we talk about everything black and everything love. But it's from that aspect of believing, living, acknowledging, and knowing your purpose, the vision that you have, and what you plan on pursuing. So today we're going to go into our episode 103. 103. And so what we're doing, I explained it to y'all, and I'll explain it to you guys at the same time. Our first series is Blank While Black. Well, not Blank. Yeah, Blank While Black. So our first episode, we dived into trauma while black. We discussed everything surrounding around trauma, around being black, but also not deeper than just black, but the principles of believing, living, acknowledging, and knowing. So that's believing in yourself, living in that truth, acknowledging your gift and your visions, and knowing your purpose.
Yeah, that episode really went more to like just humanity aspect. It started with about being black, but then it kind of evolved into we got to a deeper point of just the lack of respect for humanity.
So
that was one.
Yeah, that was one, and then two, we went into legacy while black, the same concept. So the series, we want to keep on progressing in that same field. So today we're going to be talking about creating while black. So we decided to bring you guys on because we know that you're creatives, and you can kind of go into that a little bit more. So we know that you're creatives, and we wanted to talk about creating while black, creating while color black, and creating while living in your purpose, essentially. So can you guys tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure.
It's not proper to talk about food.
I go by Michael on stage. I am a singer, songwriter, dancer, and creative. And I am in the band Freakquency.
Okay.
FREAKQUENCY.
I know you got to tell me the meaning behind that.
Well,
Because I am not to cut you off, but like when we first connected, like, and I would see it, and I would be like, I didn't know she was in the band first, but then I was looking at the name, and I'm like, it's so unique, so I know it's probably a story behind it.
there is a story behind that, and I'm going to let the storyteller tell it.
Hold on, Miss
Because Sayyid is actually the band leader and founder of Freakquency.
Okay.
And so there's definitely a method to the name. So you can go ahead and share that.
I really wish you could quit slapping. Usually at home and private, outside in public. So, Freakquency, first and foremost, I want to address, because I thought about, like, when she told me that you guys kind of like invited us along, I thought that was pretty cool. So, first and foremost, thank you. Outside of that, creative. For me, it would be, I would approach it as in how did it come about? I believe creativity comes from a place where we are seeking or searching for an outlet we have none. So then we become creatives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's been destroyed, okay, whether it be instinctual, whether it be consciousness in the back of our mind, it spawns, okay? And then from that, based off of, our walk or our trauma or whatever it is that we deal with, as people in general, but definitely as people of color, Black folks, okay, it can enhance our creativity. Thus, when, back to the frequency, just on stage, again, I don't dance. That's her thing.
Yeah.
I just kind of like watch out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might kick your drum set off the stage, but I'll replace it. Okay. But the name Freakquency in general came about. I had previously left a situation that I had built. You know, so 90% of its success, I take no credit because God is the greatest, but 90% of its success was because of a lot of hard work and diligence on my behalf. Okay. So, you know, you start getting a couple compliments, you start getting into exclusive places that, you know, normally wouldn't even bat an eye at you. You know, if you don't have a strong will, you're not rooted, you can tap into an ego that you may or may not have known was there. Once that comes about, for lack of a better term, like the old folks used to say or still say, you get too big for your britches.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes things don't work out, so you part ways. Hopefully, respectfully, hope you don't burn no bridges. But when it's in you, it's in you. You can't shake the feeling. You can't let it go. So then you begin to plant seeds everywhere, but with certain entities strategically.
Yeah.
And then you start getting calls back. You know what I mean? And then for that moment, because I believe people come into your existence for a reason or a season. Okay. Very rarely is it a lifetime. Okay, but for a reason or a season. So the gentleman, just for legality purposes, I love this. You know, we had a conversation on the phone, and we're trying to put the name together. We already got all the other components in place. We're trying to put a name together, and it's just like, you know, I get the pop, and if you can't tell now, I will take over your whole podcast. Okay.
But that's how we want it to be, though. Like,
So,
our
with that being
conversation.
said, I'm just messing with you, bro. Nah, but with that being said, we had a conversation, and it was just like, you know, sometimes things come about. Now, if you're not religious, but if you're a spiritual individual, spiritual person, sometimes things flow. You don't know where they come from. And for someone else, and sometimes for ourselves, it hits home. It gives healing, a healing aspect, or it brings awareness. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I was giving this spiel about the whole unity and the getting it out of the mud and the, you know, just different stuff that we go through, you know, just being on that same wavelength, being on that same frequency. And it was just like, wait, stop, that's it. That's the name. Yeah, frequency. I'm like, yeah, but you got to spell it like that because we was wild, we was all guys. Got to be different. Yeah, loud when she came along. But we was acting up, you know. But I mean, that's the lifestyle. You know what I mean? If you don't know any better. So, you know, as you grow, you learn and you hone it. But it was more like frequency, but let's switch it up. You know what I mean? Let's switch it up. So freak, like, yeah, like it was just like one of those things. Yeah, it could have been an elevated moment. Okay, but whatever it was, it stuck, and you know, we're here. So,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So-
No. I was just gonna say. So he didn't explain what all he does in the band.
No, that's
He's
cool.
not just the band leader. He also sings, and he is very profound lyricist. And then his heartbeat is the drums that he plays elsewhere, and he also plays basses and other things. I play an instrument on not really out here.
And wait, and don't even sit here and try to act like I want to get to you. Because you sit here trying to.
oh, she be singing.
Right, she be out there killing. Okay,
She be hollering at 5:30 in the morning in the bathroom with the shower. Hollering.
Well, I think that's.
Well, yeah, I write a thing. I write music in general, poetry.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm just saying because if y'all don't know, like we're like real friends. Like this is my boo right here. This is my tribe. So like I'm saying that because like I know I'm like that's not all you need. Let me tell you about this. I'm a brand. Let me tell you
Please
like,
don't.
I know we're talking about creating, but creating is on so many different levels too. Like you just moved on to something better, but this one right here was like what the youngest tenor professor. What?
Youngest black female tenure
In America.
In America, like so. This is
December 1st is Taylor Curtis.
Taylor Curtis day. Get you a day. You can't have people like this in your circle
Cut you a ribbon
and not try to be good. So we try to get to her level. So definitely gotta give you flowers when it, like you're here. So I don't want you to skip over that because that's important. People need to know icons when she walk into the room. Okay.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the word icon because a lot of creatives become that. They become somebody that breaks the ceiling, somebody that sets a tone, somebody that paves the way. And I am grateful for this new opportunity to have now at the right of the CA as the advocacy manager because I get to work under some really great creatives, and they have given me the space to create in the realm of anti-racism and to create for the community in a way that can educate people and help people to not only grow in awareness but to create a catalyst for social change. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that.
This is so dope because it's funny because I honestly didn't even think about that aspect of it when we asked her. I needed to ask you for a reason, of course. But like that just brings a whole nother level into creating, just creating for education, creating, for change. Like those are different ways of creating. And most of the time just getting overlooked, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's important, especially for the culture, like you have to have that element mixed in there, like, and it don't get enough respect. So
it does. I don't think it gets talked about in the right light. Like there are so many people who create music for the purpose of social change, for the purpose of changing people, for the purpose of uniting people, or to bring about a message. And I think it gets toned out. Yeah, it's like people are desensitized to it because there's a commercialization that takes place to put other things out there that I like to call fluff.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
And I mean, you might bop your head to the beat, but
it's substance.
What is there substance?
There is none.
Like, you need some kind of substance, or you're still hungry, or you're still lacking something. And I know for a fact when I had one of my besties live with me, love her so much, and she started turning up in the morning very early to fluff. And it would impact my state of mind, my attitude, my emotion. Like it hit me. And by the time I got to work, I'm ready to try it. Try it. Okay,
I'm looking for it.
Not me. Okay, because I'm ready today. And I had to hit her like, yo, can we shift what we start the day off with?
And just real quick, just to interject, she was talking about like songs with substance. Like that's one of the things that Freakquency is definitely like really founded on. I believe it was Bob Marley for sure that called the redemption song, song of freedom. So just because we're not always screaming freedom doesn't mean that we're not discussing ways to loosen the chains, or loosen the bondage, whether it be spiritually or psychologically. You know what I mean? So in every one of our songs, if you look at the Africans, if you look at the Indians, which also share our genealogy, anybody who would do that tribal war dance just before the war, or just before going to hunt the lions, or just before the rain, you know what I mean? Like that's what we're doing on stage. I say that for a reason because it's like, why does that matter? Why would you tell us that? Because after going through so much on a day-to-day basis, just wearing this alone, you know what I mean? Like, that's our outpouring. That's our, and you'd be surprised how many people, Black, white, Hispanic, Arabic, Asian, doesn't matter, like, are just like, wow, like, I didn't come up how you did, but I've experienced something, like, I feel that same vibration. So we're connected with them. So those redemption songs, so Freakquency.
Yeah, that's so dope. I love stuff that has that's just me though. Like I'm a person I can't. My group is small. Like I'm very much an introvert. Like I can't be spread too wide. Like it messes with my energy. But with the closeness, I like something with substance. But I like something that's not only just want to give you like you're entertained for a moment, but that when you walk away, like yeah, that was really dope, but like I'm changed, like or I'm thinking about something in a different way, or I've been encountered with something that I need to go chew on. Because I may have got checked in the area that I didn't realize I needed to be checked in. Like that's real art for me, and I wanted to bring that up because we started kind of talking about the fluff, and then like you know the things with substance. And when you were telling me about when you were just talking about the it was right before the war, but I can't remember what did you say. It was something you said. It reminded me of Basquiat when he used to do the random.
Oh, Samo.
Oh, it was Bob Marley. Bob Marley with Redemption, and it reminded me of Basquiat. Like he had this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like art and drawing and stuff like that. But yeah, he used to go around and do like the different political drawing.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that that I think is very much needed. And we're art, I guess we call ourselves art. I say I'm an art geek, like because we just dabble in everything. I like to. I sing in private. I'm not confident singing people.
I've heard you sing though. I've heard you sing though.
I know because I'm comfortable.
Yes. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know.
It's a secret thing, and I think so. Like even just talking about that, like just having freedom to be safe while creating is very important because being not safe in places is why I don't like to sing in front of people and I don't like to write anymore because like it'll kill something in you and it's really hard to regain that. So creating safe places for people who are creatives, I think it's crazy important.
You know what? That's funny that you say that because I'm an introvert. And I'm actually very, very shy. Most people don't tell them. You got to put on your persona. Yeah. So with that being said, it comes a point where you almost subconsciously create a safe space because you get to the point where you're tired of feeling not safe, right? And then like that quiet voice becomes a lion roar. And then you close your eyes and dance in a circle and you don't care if you're watching or listening. And before you know it, like you said, when you leave, you want to know like, wow, I feel blessed from that. Or, wow, that made me think about something. Right away it impacted you in a way that's going to push you forward. You see what I'm saying? So that is that moment when you finally decide to be like, I don't care anymore. That is true freedom. Like, I'm not saying I don't care as in, little figures there. Like, sometimes.
But sometimes,
yeah.
But
You know what I'm saying? But, when you finally get to that point, like I said, just close your eyes and do your dance, whatever that means to you. And you just let it go. You shoot it from the gut and just let it go. Because we were talking about Dave Scott. Shout out to Dave Scott. Like, all that beauty doesn't always come from a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the beauty that we encounter comes from a very, very dark, painful, like torture filled. Like I can keep going. So to have something like that and then to have it impact someone in a total opposite way, in which the whole art piece or the music or whatever was influenced. You see what I'm saying? Like that in itself is a whole. That's an evolution, like right in front of you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It really is because you have to get to a place where you're willing to go there and where you're willing to create that space for
That's
yourself,
right.
and it's hard.
People you'll see, and every now and then I have to catch myself because I get choked on certain songs because I remember like what I was dealing with when it never gets old. And like I told her, there's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna have to go to that place to get out what you want. She's got a lot in it, like potential wise as far as like vocals. But in order to get what you truly, you're going to have to face those demons that none of us want to face. Right? Okay, this goes for myself. This goes for both of you. Okay, and everybody listening. But once you face those demons, you realize that you've been your greatest ally this whole time. Right? You've been your greatest strength. You can only pray so much. That's why I tell people when you pray, don't continue to pray over and over and over again. Because what you're telling God is that you don't trust Him. Because there's an old saying. Because I grew up under the Christian concept. Take it to Him, you leave it there. That means just that. Put your prayer out there and you forget about it. Don't go back and keep praying on to go check. Hey, God, by the way, did you get my message? Like, it doesn't work like that. So same thing. You find out that this whole time that whatever your fear was, whatever, some people call it insecurity, some people might call it a demon, whatever. When you finally come to that realization that this whole time you've had it in you to face this and stare it down and walk right over it if it ain't with you, it's something empowering about that, especially as a Black man, a Black woman, a Black child. There's something empowering about that. When we walk upright, people get intimidated.
They really do.
They part like the Red Sea, and I mean upright, like not looking at the ground, hunched over and lurking. Walking with a purpose, moving with a purpose, breathing deeply. You know what I'm saying? We got big nostrils for a reason, so we can get all the best air. Okay, we got full lips, so that the kisses is the softest. Like our skin, we absorb, not just absorb for the heat purposes and the UV and all that, but for the sake of absorbing nutrients. Right? You know what I'm saying? That we can pass these nutrients on through our knowledge, our wisdom, our understanding. So that's probably a whole other.
Right. It is.
Y'all gonna have to invite us back.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But on the music side, our music is definitely meant to impact you. We want it to heal you, but it's meant to bang. It's meant to impact you.
You gotta feel
straight
something.
up.
You gotta feel something. If you're not feeling something, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
That's so good. You made it. Go ahead. Okay.
I was just gonna say it's crazy that you use the word impact because a lot of the followers that we got probably already know like impact is huge to us. Like as a family, our vision is to impact the lives of others. So that's like something that just jogged the whole thing within me. But like it's our mission as people, as humans living on this earth to impact the lives of others. So I like the way that you are using that as a part of your band. So that's kind of, it's like, I don't know, something like in me feels like I'm a part of that because.
And that's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's what it's supposed to. So, and it's even, and I tell people all the time because, people look at the videos, we got videos posted everywhere. Freakquency music at Facebook.com. Shout out. Hey, yeah. So,
I'll put it down below. Don't worry.
I've done this rodeo before. So with that being, you got to get it in when you get it.
Okay.
But with that being said, like, it's one thing to see, it's one thing to hear, but when you're actually there, and I make the eye contact, or she makes, or the band, or like you feel that vibration. It's not just the noise, it's not just the music, it's not just the word. Like I did. When I say the word, I mean the spoken word, whether it's coming in lyric form or song form or whatever, because we will literally stop the music, bringing it to my voice. I don't want to have to shout and get down. Okay, and these boys are disciplined. They're going to bring you down to a whisper. And I'm just going to talk to you guys from here because, this isn't a show. It's a performance, but it's much more than that. It's a fellowship. It's the breaking of the bread. You know what I'm saying? It just happens to be pizza and beer and wine and spirits.
Right.
But at the same time, we are all in here together because somebody didn't wake up this morning.
Right.
Somebody's sitting in the hospital bed. It's the same story I tell them. They'll never get old. Somebody's blowing in a straw to get their wheelchair to move. Somebody's waiting on their baby to wake up. Okay? Somebody's baby's in the incubator right now. Can't go home. Been there for 6 months. See what I'm saying? So, these are the people. If you take it back to, the Bible type, concept, it wasn't the Christ, the Messiah that hung out with the ones who were well and they didn't need nothing and, their families were wealthy and privileged, you know what I'm saying? Like, the politicians and it was the people who were stricken. It was the people who were unfortunate. Right. They were considered less than. They were spit upon, sometimes not even, what I mean? So, with that being said, these are the crowds, these are the people that we're drawing in, the black sheep, that one speckle of pepper in a canister of salt, the outcasts, you know what I'm saying? That's the real, that's the one thing we do take serious. I will bite you if you get in our way. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, but I feel like that's good though, and not even in a whole nother way. Like we've been through religious saying, we've done all of that, and we got, I don't know, ostracized because that's just how we are. We're like, what's the purpose If you're telling me I have to go stand in a room with people who have it, but there's people out here that you
That
said
need it,
that we were supposed to go get. So why are we scared to be in a room with them? I'm already feeling like, I don't understand.
Like,
Can we reconvene?
Make it make sense.
Because I missed it. So I missed that link. It went over my head. So I just
It was supposed to.
right. And I'm like, so, but and that's our whole mission of behind impacting people, because it's like, I don't know, because in a way I guess I feel like I was that speckle, of the pepper in the salt.
But you see what happened, though? You see how we all came together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then before you know, we have a can of salt pepper as opposed to a speckle.
That's
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't people like little salt and pepper?
That's right.
It
gives flavor to the
actually,
world.
pepper is better for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Salty.
You might get pepper.
I'm just saying, get some pepper.
Saying.
Balance that out.
Like pepper jack.
Right. Right there. Now that's I love that, because me personally, I feel like art has that responsibility to do that. I feel like art is responsible for being that reflection to the world, because the world is the world, and I feel like art's job is it puts that mirror up and say, "Do you see yourself? That's what you look like." You know what I'm saying? It's a reflection to like
self-realization is a scary thing, because it forces you to look at yourself for who you truly are. People 10 times out of 10 not like what they see.
Oh, no.
You just, that was a nugget right there. That was a straight jewel right
Yeah, because art is vulnerable. I want to find it, but Viola Davis, I was reading, and she had this quote, and it was talking about vulnerability in art, and she was just basically saying like it's the most vulnerable, open, yet, you know what I'm saying, guarded place that you can be, because you have, like you said, you have to go to those deep dark places, but in that it's just like that vulnerability opens the door. It gives people permission.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To say like,
Yes.
everything in life isn't always rainbows and sunshine, but even in the dark places, there's a scripture that I love, and it talks about, it says God has hidden the treasure in the darkest of places, and I love it because it just helps me reminded, like even in those dark moments, there is a treasure there. Like you might have to go dig for it. We don't want to do that because that's called doing the work. You know what I'm saying? But if you dig deep enough, you'll find that treasure to be able to. It doesn't have to be so much as a I don't know the proper word for it. It's not coming to my brain right now. But like as far as giving a pass to whoever may have put you in that place or whatever, but it gives you a place of acceptance, and there's like something about acceptance and being able to just be grounded in that place enough to where if you have to walk through the tunnel, it doesn't affect you. Or if you have to walk into that place to help bring someone else out, you're not affected because you know you move on from it. So I just feel like kind of, art has that responsibility.
You mentioned something about vulnerability, and the cool thing about being a creator, okay, is that you control how much of your vulnerability is exuded.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like they can see your vulnerability in your art, whether it be whatever your art form is, cooking, brush, sketching, music, like whatever your art form is. Okay? So it's almost like we were talking about a hallway or a tunnel. Let's turn it into a hallway. Okay, and that tunnel, okay, just morphed into a hallway. It's got doors. Okay, we don't know how it's endless. Okay, within this hallway, certain doors are unlocked, certain doors are locked. Okay, the creative controls what they want to see. And we find beauty in it. So just imagine how much of the darkness you were talking about is actually there. Because they're only showing a fraction, maybe a drop in the ocean of what it is. You see what I mean? That's their pain. We see beauty in their pain. It's kind of like ironic, yeah. We see beauty in someone else's pain. Isn't that crazy?
That's hilarious. The concept behind one of the songs I wrote, Beautiful Disaster, was named exactly that because of that experience. That there's so many times there's something that is unfamiliar, something that terrified of, or something that you may not be expecting. But there's always beauty within that, growth within that. And you typically don't recognize the beauty when you're in the midst of it, because everything is going crazy right now. And shut the door and get under something and go to the lowest level. Right. Let's get a chopper. We need rescue. But when you look at the pictures of the tornado or the hurricane or the storm, and you see it just in a still picture, you can acknowledge and admire the beauty in it. And so many times we're in situations in our lives that look disastrous, we don't recognize the beauty in it. But it's there. And you can say hindsight is 20 years from to our vision, to after the scary part has passed, right? After we've already gotten to the place of grace or the place of healing or the place of whatever, and now we can sigh. Now it's like, oh, it was a miracle. But when it was happening, you were not thinking about it like there's a miracle.
Wow, this is a miracle.
Right? You're like,
oh my God. I don't think I'm going to live through this, but just know that this is a miracle. Yeah, I can taste death right around the corner, but this is a miracle. It gotta be.
No, it's being tested. I don't know why. That makes me think of fire, and I guess because of fire being, it's so many different things. Because most people will think like it's fire, it destroys, but it purifies. It creates new life.
yes,
and it's beautiful. It brings high. It does multiple things, and being creatives, there's so many facets. Like I'm in a place now, just even learning how to tap into different things because I grew up drawing and things like that. Now I'm getting more into painting and then just like makeup. Like oh, that's the same thing, but just getting to a place of like, right, and like that you can be. That's a part of who you are, like, and being okay.
You guys got some pretty. We see some of your.
What?
Oh,
the art thing, yeah. Him with like just
like look at Corey. Look what they do. I was like, don't ask me to do that. You're not putting that on my. No.
it's fine. We'll never do that.
Catch me when I'm asleep. Catch me when I'm asleep. I might let you slide. I say sometimes it's best to ask for forgiveness.
I don't know. I don't think I could pull off Mufasa for him. Scar. I don't think I could pull it up. I don't think I could do that.
That's just we just be like, let's try it. Like I don't know. It just always. But I feel like he's way more of a creative than me. I feel like I'm in a place of just being like, first of all, like brave enough to even say that I am a creative. Like I was that person that's like, no, we need to try it, but like just learning how to like, no, I do that.
I dabble.
That's that introvert. See?
Wrote the song, produced the song, played it on the bass and the drums, sang it, rapped it, all the people, and then be like, I dabble.
I tried.
Set first chair, be like, I tried. Whole chef.
But here's the thing. And this is just in regards to you, right? It's hard to be good, and this is for you. It's hard to be good at one thing when you're exceptional at many things. So, no this to him, he's good at what you're good at. But when you're good at what you're good at, it's going to look like what he's doing is more into. Not saying that it's not, it is for him. But what's for him is for him. They couldn't do like that. You be your way, me be mine. What's up? It's Arabic.
It's like everybody I gotta get me a saying in Spanish. We
got plenty more. Yeah.
We gonna get us we be over here almost food,
Yeah, so like Maya Angelou, I was watching her videos and she had mentioned it in the discussion, and it's actually by who's thought to be the first Greek playwright, Terence. It's in a play that he wrote. One of the characters says, "Homo sum humani nihil ame aleni tu," and it's Latin for "I am human." nothing human is alien to me. So that's one of my, like, when we talk about like being a creative and even maneuvering personally, like that's one of the things that's important to me is that I keep humanity at the forefront of whatever I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
So you said you didn't want to go down that hole.
Oh, we.
That's
I'm
what you
telling
said. But I'm going to address this. And I know your intentions. I sense your intentions. So I assume that I assume the good. I assume the best.
Mm,
With that being said, in humanity, we have also exuded savagery and barbarism. See what I'm saying? So make sure in walking out your humanity, and I'm sure you already did. This is perfect. Make sure there's that balance.
yeah,
Don't be too much of a human that you forget to be human.
right.
See what I'm saying? Because at some point in time, even us, we taught everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but who taught us? Someone had to teach us, or we had to learn. Right? With the trial and error, or there was a book or someone to walk us through, we had to also learn. We weren't always civilized. We weren't born civilized. A baby isn't born civilized.
Right.
Baby has to be taught, or a baby has to learn.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So in your humanity, be careful not to be too human.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with being a Martian. Lil Wayne was actually on the sun.
I love
And I'm not a big old Lil Wayne fan, yeah, but he said a couple of things. We're not the same. I am a Martian. He's just saying I am different. It's okay to be different. We need variation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think, like, even with that aspect of even how we see that quote, it's literally just that. Because we teach our kids, we tell them that they're demigods. Like, that's what we tell them. Like, no, you're demigod. You're a god. It's a little g. You a little g. You're a demigod. But you walk and you move through this world as such, and you look at humanity. I mean, like you said, we balance and judge according to how spirit leads you. But sure, that's who we are. We're God's walking. Like, you're not. Be humble in the room, but just know that when you walk in the room should shift. When you walk in, yes. Like, we shift atmospheres when we walk. That's where we at. Like, and I think that's just, that's
Because
just,
even in that quote, it goes back to like looking at things from the standpoint of like you have a murder or something like that, right? And you have a rich person that's like I don't even know how to say it. I mean, just a privileged person. So you have to be able to look at humanity as I can be in that state if the right circumstances had led to that, or I can be in this state if the same circumstances are in both areas. So being human is to know that I can identify with other humans in whatever state they are. So you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I'm with you. Just keep going. Just keep going.
So
Because there's very rarely is there a neutral zone. Very rarely is there a gray area. It's always boom or boom. There's never really that in between. So to find that sweet spot is the success, is the ultimate food in regards to that. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying, when you understand the nature of an individual, the things that they do make sense. Humanity.
exactly.
Absolutely. Unconditional positive regard is one of the ways that it's been worded and phrased in my realm. But that's what it is. Always look at people like, at the end of the day, I'm going to treat you like a human being.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to see you as a human being, no matter what you've done, because we're so traditional. As long as you did this, we cool.
Hey, but even that, hey, I'm about to say this, because even if that be jumping up in your ass, we still gonna treat you like a human.
Right.
Get their ass kicked.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Back to
I'm not promoting violence.
But that's how it is. At the end of the day, we're going to treat you as a human being. And I have to understand you as a human being, recognize you as a human being, and kind of expect you to be a human being. And remember that I'm not the one who's going to judge. I'm only here to impact.
And I'm glad we got to this point because I just had a thought. And it's kind of like a thought and a question because I feel like Black art is it's not appreciated. I feel like it's like with everything else, we set the standard, like you use us for the format. You know what I'm saying? But you don't give credit, or you take what you can take, or you try to dehumanize what we create. You know, we're trying to make it, you know. So even just when we start talking about humanity and the pain and how all these different things derive, well, we've kind of been stuff. And do you feel like maybe other cultures, the respect level for what we create is because they do not recognize the humanity in it, therefore they don't understand the nature of like what most of sometimes our art or our pain or our different things come from. He said, "I got to follow it." Am I making sense? No,
Yeah.
okay. Or does it matter too? Like, I mean, some of us might have that argument. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. As soon as you started the conversation, all I saw in my head was the scene of Dreamgirls where the white people are singing, "Draw me a Cadillac, Cadillac." You don't understand the purpose of the song or what the significance of the song was in the midst of the racial wealth gap, in the midst of the time frame. You don't understand.
They don't understand what a Cadillac meant to a black
What
person.
a Cadillac means to a black person.
It wasn't the same for them.
You don't understand that meaning, and you will never share the experience, and you will never walk that out on a daily basis, even if you can insert yourself for a moment. And so, no, there's never going to be a full respect, because I believe that a full respect would require a lot of sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people would have to sacrifice
So,
themselves and their selfish desires to appropriate.
that's selfless.
They would have to be willing to say, "This is yours and you can have it," and it's yours because you understand me. Just like when you see somebody who doesn't understand the protective style, the cornrows, when you don't understand the history of our hairstyles, but you want to wear it because you think it looks cool, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And until you're ready to sacrifice that, like you said, be selfless, sacrifice that personal desire to fit in, or just because you always wanted to, or this feeling that you're entitled. In privilege, you're entitled to something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard, let's say DEC folks say, people want to say the N-word because they can't imagine giving up.
You don't want to be treated
But you don't want
as such, as
Right,
a person
right,
that you would
right.
refer to. You don't want to be treated. You want to be able to say it, but you don't want to be treated. I'm sorry.
No, but
No, that's just
exactly
like the
what it
dressing,
is.
all of those
Exactly.
things.
So
You want all
even
of
when
that.
it comes to the creativity from our language, our dialect, people don't understand that our language and our dialect comes from African languages. It's
Right.
not just slang. It's not ebonics. It's actual dialect with linguistics, with rules of grammar that are utilized that we have passed down for generations. So
We got rules of grammar. Now.
right.
It ain't like y'all.
So-
Y'all
And we've learned them, and we may not recognize them as rules of grammar, but we know what it means, and we know how to use
we
it
know when
properly,
it's
and we know when it's improperly used. Right? We know when you're out of pocket trying to use it. That's not how that sentence goes to stop. Right? And so I feel like people don't respect that. They've always looked at us as inferior because of it, or looked down upon us because of what we're talking about in the songs, or how that art piece came to be. You don't see the value in it because you don't understand the struggle. You don't understand the experience. And so I don't think there will ever be a full respect because people are selfish. People do not want to let go of something. People want to sing the song because I heard the song that sounds good. Why can't I sing like that? People want to wear the hairstyle because why can't I wear the hairstyle too?
Sure.
But it's just how they feel. People, I mean, and
It's just like it is just the respect of being.
I'm sorry, be slipping out. See, ooh, I was being good. I was doing good. Oh my goodness, I was doing good. But
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna follow up, okay? Because you understand, I'm trying to behave myself. You can't get. You got me out here live. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we
This
got
ain't
live.
live.
This is work.
Okay. Pull it in, Sayyid. Pull it in.
Don't breathe. Let them think it's live.
Yeah. You understand? Well, y'all gonna have a lot to edit, baby. So, that being said, she answered the question. Okay, now I'm going to answer the in between, or address the in between, I should say. It's the same concept of that slave Negro mentality. I don't care if you're in the field or if you're in the house. Okay, Negroes are still waiting on reparations, still waiting and demanding them and ready to peacefully protest. Same thing with the art. Okay, we need to not concern ourselves with who respects our art and who does not. Right. We need to not be sitting around waiting on reparations and who's going to fix our potholes and fix up the houses or the property, but we need to do it ourselves. Right. Okay. When it comes to the arts and all, like, we need to support us. Yeah. And if none of us are supporting us, keep supporting yourself, because there are more than just one or two of us in any given area. Yeah. And someone that looks like you, that looks like you, that looks like you, and looks like me is going to absolutely love everything that comes from you. Yeah. Right? Because it comes from you. Yeah. It's not meant for them. If they're not grasping onto it, if it's not absorbed, if it's not being reciprocated, it's not for them. We don't care about the Asians and we love y'all. Right. We care about y'all, but we don't care what you think when it comes to our vulnerability being exposed.
And that even goes back to like what we were talking about with impact, because like with impact, it's all about that who you can get to. It's not about reaching the masses. It's not about reaching every single person or trying to do that on the main scale like somebody that's influential would do or whatever, right?
Can't please all the people all the time.
Right. It's about that immediate bubble of impact. Those people that I come in contact to doing my day-to-day life, it's about impacting them. So when you were talking about like what was you just talking about? Like the in-between.
Well, that it ain't about everyone else, like
right. So it's not about it's not about reaching every single culture or every single person. What's for us is for us. So if I can impact those people that's within my personal bubble, then that's my job as far as impact.
Not to cut you off, it pains me to say this, but I'm going to say it. Okay, we are the only culture that is broken around the entire world. Yeah. We are the only culture that when we go make money, we don't put it back into our. We don't move our African brothers and sisters, our family from Africa to here. We, white folks, Asians, Hispanics, Latinos, Jewish folk, like it doesn't matter. Like everybody's got their culture. They stick to their culture, and that's what. We are the ones that I'm telling you. The day when it clicks. Black man told me one time. This is when I was on vacation. I was on vacation for 6 years. Okay. With that being said, the black man told me, he said, could you imagine if all black folks at one time, at the same time, got down on their knees, at the same time, just got down on one knee. He said the world would shake. It probably couldn't even hold the pressure, the spiritual pressure. The world couldn't hold it. We are the chosen. Nobody said that. Nobody thinks we are the chosen. We are the people who send it for us. Anything that it isn't before it gets cooked. Right? Straight up and down.
Even the defects.
Right. Straight up and down. Okay. So with that being said, once we get over, you know what I'm saying, when I see you in public, eyeball you standing down, like why though? Right. Why? Have you ever asked yourself what makes you look at another brother or sister like that? Like what makes us do that? Like why? You looking at me like that? You looking at me like that? Why not turn that glare into, hey, how you doing, brother? It don't make you punk. It don't make you soft. You are who you are. I mean, if you didn't know no better, You probably think I was just another cornball that you got, right? Cornball. Not really, because I rock the skinny jeans and chucks, and I talk funny, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, you are who you are. Know who you are. Have a sense of self-awareness. Yeah. Once you have a sense of self-awareness, you're not going to be concerning yourself. Who cares about your artistry? Who cares about your vulnerability? Who cares about your feelings? That you couldn't pay your bills, you barely could feed your children, your mom's in the hospital. No one cares. No one cares. Your family members, they're concerned, but they don't want to see nothing bad, but they're not really. So in that moment, regardless of what the situation is, it's got to be you. You have to step outside of that. Well, that's an insecurity. It's a deep-seated inferiority. It's a deep-seated inferiority. Okay? It's since the whole Willie Lynch, I'm not trying to go there, but you did it. Since the whole Willie Lynch papers and all that, listen, follow this plan. If you follow this plan, you understand this will last you for the next 400 years. And then toward the end of that 400 years, if you continue to implement this plan, it'll last you for an additional 400 years. That was like a 1,000 years ago. I'm exaggerating, but straight up. And what was the whole concept? Okay, the whole concept was to emasculate black men. And everybody pick the biggest, strongest one. Okay, not only that, instill fear in the black woman. Okay, rape her, beat her, but don't kill her, and don't kill him. Just beat him to the point of death. So now what she does is when the black child comes out, the star comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole earth, the moon, the wisdom. She teaches the child to fear the white man, so this don't happen to you.
Creates less work for them.
Okay. So this is what we have to break that all the way down to the food we eat. Yeah. All the way down to the food we eat, our diet. Man, you don't eat that pork. I stopped. Yeah, man, what you? Listen, we ate that when we had to. That was the sloppy. That was the hand-me-down. That was the scraps. We ate that and it got us through. But we're in a new age now. We're in a whole new age. Like, things are different. Now we are in a position where we can make conscious, logical, healthy decisions. Right?
Yeah.
If we so choose. It's not a mistake. You're not unaware. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Like, people make conscious decisions to do stupid shit. Okay, and then they turn around and say, "Oh man, yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in my life." No, you did a lot of dumb shit. That's what you did. Okay, you made a few mistakes, but you did a lot of.
You made a lot of choices.
That part, yeah, the nice part.
But people don't want to think that their life is full of choices.
No, but you have choices and you have options. Okay, back to the creative. It brings us back to your topic of discussion, like the trip. Okay, seeds planted. Okay, the creative. All that when you think you don't have those options because life is just kicking you in the balls. Okay, like you can't get past it. Like it's got its boot on your neck and there's no way out. You know what I'm saying? That's when the creative aspect comes about. So when people actually don't even give themselves a chance, they're looking for somebody to give them an opportunity. They don't give themselves an opportunity to tap into that. And it's there because they start doing it subconsciously, just drawing, or you start beatboxing, you rapping, or like it happens. Now, whether we pay attention to it or not, or see it through, or just even out of curiosity, what's down that hallway? It's a nice building that goes all the way around. It's the same thing. If you don't, you cannot be mad at yourself for not exhausting these options that you created for yourself. Okay, that came from oppression, or that came from extreme circumstances, existential circumstances.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? So,
And just even seeing an opportunity to create out of it.
yeah. We are the master of our own selves, whether that be to build or destroy.
Yeah. And I think that's why, at least for us, one of our goals with Black is that we creating those spaces for you, especially when you're able to catch them young and teach them or show them how to take their innate gifts and use it. Use it for fuel. Use it to do what you need to do. Because sometimes that's therapy for some people. That's how you work through some things. And it can be for monetary if that's what you want to be. But to just have a release that affects, you first. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone else. I think that's important because I feel like there's a lot of people similar to what you were saying that do things and it's not equating that it's art. And it doesn't even have to be so specific, like this is art.
Right.
Exhibit A. Like it doesn't have to be that, but just to create and show a different path, a different unlocked door. Like, hey, this door was locked, but if you open it, see what's there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it just having those different outlets because it's needed. And I think with art, I think in our community, I think it's needed.
We in general have a lot of healing to do.
Oh my gosh.
Through the art being the music, the art being the martial arts, okay, the art being the painting, the drawing, the art being relationship. Relationship is a book about.
Right.
See what I'm saying? It's not something that we did, it's something that we put together flawlessly. Even though we might find fault in certain things, it was meant to be, so therefore it's flawless. Right? But we have a lot of healing to do. Okay, so in that healing, the artist aspect, the creative aspect, those are the bandages. That's the God that gets changed daily. That's the medicine. That's the ointment, bro. Think about it. Think about it. It's helping to eat. It's helping to sleep. It's helping people to get up and go. When you're going through the hard times, it's the first thing you do. You go to music, or you go to your drawing, or you go to your poetry, and you spoken word. Or your photography. Like, strip it down. Like, this is the artist. This is the creative. This is the creative. Like, creative isn't just a person or a collective of individuals. Creative is the concept. Just like being fly, one of our songs, Fly. Fly is just a state of mind. Everyone is flying in their own right. That is my spiel before I start the song every time. Fly is just a state of mind. Everybody's flying in their own right. But this is our version of fly. We rock with y'all for a minute. And everybody just like get nodding and say, yeah. All right, and then we give it to them. Same thing. State of mind. Creative. State of mind.
And I think,
Evolution.
and I think a lot of people don't understand just how deep and how important our mind is. And they don't see on a day-to-day like just how things are played music. And like in my mind, I'm thinking like we only use the fact like what percent.
We actually use a lot more than say we use. People make that up. We only use a little bit of our like 10% of your mind. We use your brain. We use your brain, but we don't use it the way that people think that we use it.
You can't calculate.
You know what I mean? Your brain has the ability to do so much more than you think, and I think that's the main thing is that people have limited
what you
think.
And that was
you're only
my point.
using 10% of your brain.
But why would? And my point was going to be literally, well, why would God create such a machine that was only designed to use like 2%?
Make it make sense.
So if someone's lying somewhere, either don't know how to
they don't want you to tap they want you to think that to tap into your full brain that you have to be a superhero like Lucy. That's not how that works.
You know what? If I tell you all your life that you're worthless, you'll go believe that you're worthless.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
So we have to educate ourselves.
Exactly. And that's something that you were saying earlier, just with the way that people have been programmed with this internalized oppression. We've been programmed to believe so many things and to view ourselves in a certain way that we haven't taken the time to really deprogram or detach, unplug for a second and really take inventory of what's there,
right? And
what should be used and how it should be used and who we are and who we are in true perspective, not in the perspective that's been given to us since we went to, elementary school. Right. You have to truly unpack and pour out and empty your cup so that you can fill it up again, but this time with a clear view, with a true perspective, with critical thinking, with you being able to really acknowledge who you are and who you've been created to be.
Right.
Because we are created. And so there's a complex design there that is supposed to be functioning in a certain way. You just have to take the time to explore how that's supposed to function.
You have anything else?
A lot of the times, like when it's just us two, it's like I'm talking, like sharing our thoughts and stuff. But having somebody else just brings a whole nother vibe to it because I love listening to people. I love listening to the way people dive into their creativity, and how they receive just the universe, the atmosphere, like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Blessings.
So, did you guys have anything else? Or you did?
Keep doing what you're doing. Seriously, keep doing what you're doing, and we would love to invite down the road. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe we get the land in here.
Yeah.
You know,
We
a
can do
little
some
something.
little something.
I hope we dived in enough with y'all about like
Hey, no, this was
Black
so-
while well, creating while black. So
Hey,
I think I did have another thought. If y'all want to go down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole. So, I was thinking, because I've heard people, like with retrospects to like social media and TikTok in specific, and then you have people who have like disciplined parts, like I am a musician, or I am an actor, I am a dancer, and then you have a platform like TikTok where you have like all these people doing all of these things, you know what I'm saying? And some people feel as if it's drawing away from the discipline of what there is. But I know, because in the thing, what made me think
Which one of
about
y'all thought
hey, I'm gonna tell you like Jay-Z said, it's only entertainment.
Right.
Don't pour into that.
And it made me think of it because when we were talking about the healing aspect, well, TikTok came about when COVID and shut down.
Are you kidding?
So how many? And I'm just thinking of how many people tapped into a whole different part of themselves just on an app, being able to like
And
come alive.
Think
in so
about
many different
how
ways.
many people got active and stayed healthy because they were learning them dance.
Yeah.
Think about how many minds were being shaped. I know watching my 7-year-old goddaughter. First of all, she operates TikTok like a pro. She knows every breakdown of the music. She knows the rhythm. She knows where this tick and this move and this was supposed to be. This is where you go slow motion. This is where you come back in. She knows all of that stuff. And TikTok was a lot. I'm laughing because Dory asked me to do TikTok at the beginning of the quarantine. And after I was done, I deleted it. I deleted the app and said, I'm not doing this no more because she's out of her mind. She wants me to do this, and you're supposed to hold the button down, and then you stop, and then you hold it again. It was just it was too involved. And I was like, I thought there was something else. I did two of them. I thought you showed it to you. Yes, I did. You don't remember. I showed it to you.
No,
Because I did one with Veronica too.
Wow.
I did one with Veronica first. They were with Veronica and Christina first.
It was the
And then I did
one we
the
did. The don't
rush.
rush.
Yeah, the don't rush, and we did that one. And I was like, this is too much. But to watch a 7-year-old to be able to put it together and be able to start developing her creativity in that way, I was just like, I can only imagine when you're a teenager what you'll be able to do and create. And even before that, and for me to be telling children, like, a 9-year-old man, Angry Bird, so you can do TikTok, I'm sure you can come up with code.
You can do some code.
You know,
It's like putting the room.
you know, and so I think it's a cool thing, and I think that if anything, it only brings more attention to the different artists and types of art that's out there. Yeah. And I think it's necessary because we were in a place where you can't go out and perform face to face. We were in a place where music and performances and doing art live is a lot of people's livelihood.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge. And then on top of that, you've got people using their own music to use a platform like that to broadcast their own original music or to show their skills in acting, pantomime, their creativity. And I'm sure there will be people who end up on somebody's TV show if they haven't already. Tabitha Brown already has a show. You know what I mean? That these people are going to develop into much bigger opportunities and platforms. And so I think it's an amazing thing. I think it's a very smart way to use. And let's believe Doria teaches me how to TikTok. And Freakquency EP drops.
Right.
There will be some TikToks that we will be join the wave, ride the wave. It will be a wave. She's going to find a wave.
Yeah, it's a whole other world, but like once you get into it, like it'll tap you into a whole other position if you're not so much the content creator, but you to edit and to know how to put things in and do
Love to
I
watch
see
it.
Kev on stage put me on, and when they broke down what's really happening, I said, "Oh." I said they really need to do it. You do it all right there. I thought there was some behind the scenes editing that was taking place. It's all
It's one of those things too that everyone has their own process.
It's so brilliant to me. I love watching it.
Yeah, I do too. I am a TikTok fan.
You're a TikToker. She's saying she's a fan. She hit 30-something thousand views.
Right.
Okay, she's a TikToker. Go
Like out
follow
of
her.
nowhere, it's just one time, just doing one video. It's
Yeah.
like, bam.
Because you're an actress at heart.
I am. I am. I'm very theatrical.
So we should do a play. We'll talk about it. Okay.
Well, do you want to break down the BLAK case, like really quick, like you want to do it?
Well, I kind of already did, but like, it's
No,
just,
not you. I mean, like, I didn't mean it like.
oh, okay.
I mean, I realized how it sounded after I said it. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh,
But you know, like
I get
normally
what
how
you're
we.
saying.
So sometimes what we do is kind of cheesy, but so we told you what BLAK stands for: believe, live, acknowledge, know. And I know we kind of already hit on it, but if you can just speak from the light of creative purpose, like how would you describe that using believe, live, acknowledge, know? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can take, yeah, y'all can do it however y'all want to do it. And I mean, it can be super duty, but it can be fun. We just like to do it. Not the
What if I wanted to acknowledge
Okay. All right. So is believe in what?
Believe, live, acknowledge.
So believe and live. That's mine.
Yeah.
One will always be what they believe that they are. Therefore, don't just walk in your purpose. Live in your purpose.
Right.
I think when it comes to acknowledging who you are, I think when you are a creative, you really have to acknowledge all the parts of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when you can acknowledge who you are, it allows you to be free in that.
Yeah.
And when you're free in who you are, you said earlier permission, and you give permission to the room for others to be free in who they are. And when you know who you are, right, you're acknowledging all parts of you, right? We can acknowledge all parts. That doesn't mean that we want to keep all the parts the same all the time.
Right, right.
So you need to know who you are on the inside, the true you, the inner you, spirit, soul, whatever you call it, energy, life force. When you know who that is, then you can. And it's something that people experience. It's not just something people see, it's something people experience.
Yeah.
And we've had individuals come up after a freak show and say, you know, I was on the edge, I was on the verge, I may not have made it another day. Or things have been really going downhill in my life right now. And this gave the air that I needed to breathe. You know what I mean? And I think that comes with, you know,
As we always say, like, once you got your belief, how you live, how you acknowledge, you know, all those things you just said, that's how you live victorious. So that's literally Black love in a nutshell. But before we let y'all go, I want you to tell the people, put your plug in for Freakquency, how we get in touch with you, how do we book you, where your next show, what's the upcoming things, anything that you can't tell. I know you be over there cooking. I got you.
okay,
But just go
you
ahead.
tell them what we cooking up and then I'll tell them how they can find it. You just tell them what's going on in the summer.
Oh man, okay. So I think we got some like Sound Valley stuff going on. I think we got some Bright Side stuff going on. Some Mother Stewart's stuff going on. We recently got a call. We solidified the time frame. So late July, early August, we got the invite to go do a live recording for our EP in Bootsy Collins' studio joint. So we'll be using his engineer. Shout out to Philly Phil Entertainment for sure. Put it all together, man. So everything's coming together. So this is all good time.
So I'm gonna get a picture and I'm gonna go and get your autograph.
So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Freak is Music, music with a Z. Again, we are Freakquency, FREAKQUNCY. Feel free to shoot us a message or you can email us.
Look for the blue. I was gonna have her pull her phone up. She got a sticker, but just look for the blue microphone.
And then individually, how can they follow you and keep up with you guys?
Yes, you can follow me at Twix_sweetheart on Instagram or find me Taylor Michael, independent beauty consultant on Facebook, or follow us at Sip and Slay or Brownfield Soul Care, or you can just type in MYKAL and everything we will pop up.
I am not that cool. I don't have that. So I do a couple of things, but as an artist, as a musician, you can find me at I Am Rugged at Facebook. I sell cars during the day. Come get you a Kia.
If you ain't seen us, share a post.
So Sayyid Jones at Facebook.com. I Am Rugged on Instagram. We got some stuff. Freakquency, YouTube. We got a few things. Freak is Music 15.
Make sure to put everything in.
Yeah, all that, man.
Have to write it out.
Just look for the blue microphone.
So please make sure everyone go look them up. Please follow. Because we have people from all different, we are on every podcasting platform. So we have people who's all over that list. And we even had a couple people in France. So let's go. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes, yes. So I really want to thank y'all. Like, this is dope. This is gonna be like one of my favorite interviews. So it's always great when it's not just like people, but it's like family. Like it's like
I got adopted.
It's
I got adopted.
So with that said, y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Black Love, and
Let's see.
Hey Black Love fam, thank you for tuning in and listening. I just want to remind you to go over to our YouTube channel at Black Love and make sure that you are subscribed and hit that notification button so you know when we drop some new content, because we got some good stuff coming at you. As always, we love you, and remember, live victorious over everything. Yes.
Black Love.